Story 1. The Frozen Asylum. Our first tale takes us to the outskirts of a forgotten town, where an abandoned asylum stands as a monument to a grim past. In the winter of 1985, a group of teenagers dared each other to explore the old Ravenswood Asylum, long rumored to be haunted. The building had been deserted for decades, its history stained by tales of unethical experiments and unexplained disappearances. As they ventured deeper into the asylum, the temperature plummeted unnaturally, their breaths visible in the dim light of their flashlights. They stumbled upon a room filled with rusty medical equipment and walls adorned with unsettling drawings. Suddenly, a chilling scream echoed through the halls, followed by the sound of footsteps approaching rapidly. Panic set in, and they fled, only to find the entrance they had used was now sealed shut. Desperation mounting, they split up to find another exit. One by one, they encountered apparitions of former patients, their hollow eyes filled with torment. The last remaining teenager managed to break a window and escape, but the experience left him traumatized. Years later, he discovered that the asylum had been the site of cruel experiments, and the spirits of those who suffered remained trapped, seeking vengeance on anyone who dared to intrude. Story 2. The Ice Fisherman's Revenge. Our second tale unfolds on the icy expanse of Lake Wendigo, where a seasoned fisherman encountered something far more sinister than the fish he sought. Every winter, Harold took to the frozen lake for ice fishing, finding solace in the solitude. One particularly harsh winter, he ventured out further than usual, setting up his hut miles from shore. As night fell, an eerie fog enveloped the lake, and Harold heard faint whispers beneath the ice. Dismissing them as the wind's tricks, he continued fishing. Suddenly, a violent tug on his line nearly pulled him into the freezing water. Struggling to reel in his catch, he was horrified to see a pale, emaciated hand gripping the end of the line, emerging from the dark depths. The hand was followed by a ghastly figure, its eyes voids of darkness, mouth opening in a silent scream. Harold stumbled back, cutting the line, and fled to his snowmobile. As he sped across the ice, he glanced back to see multiple figures emerging from the holes he had drilled, watching him with lifeless eyes. He never returned to the lake, and locals say that the spirits of those who drowned in its icy waters haunt the area, seeking to drag others into their watery graves. Story 3. The Snowbound Cabin. Our final story brings us to a secluded cabin where a couple's winter retreat turned into a nightmare beyond imagination. Sarah and Mark sought a peaceful getaway, renting a cabin deep in the woods during a heavy snowstorm. The first night was idyllic, with a roaring fire and the world outside blanketed in white. On the second night, they discovered strange symbols carved into the trees surrounding the cabin. Dismissing it as local teenagers' pranks, they went to bed, only to be awakened by scratching sounds at the door. Mark opened the door to find nothing but fresh snow. However, the scratching persisted each night, growing more insistent. One morning, they found the cabin surrounded by footprints that appeared to be human, but were elongated and distorted. Desperation set in as they realized they were snowbound, the roads impassable. The cabin's power failed, plunging them into darkness. That night, the scratching turned into pounding, and guttural whispers echoed through the walls. In a final attempt to escape, they braved the storm on foot but were never seen again. Rescuers found the cabin empty, the door clawed and battered from the outside. Locals whisper of the Wendigo, a creature that roams the winter woods, luring victims with its unrelenting hunger.